Hello, Swan Puncher here. Vlogging. This is a vlog. You and I exchanging information backward and forth. Although this isn't a vlog in a traditional sense because this is a protest. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to whip out an acoustic guitar. You were worried where that sentence was going, weren't you? I'm not going to whip out an acoustic guitar and start rocking out some old blues tunes because that's what John Lee Hooker was for. Legend. If you don't know who John Lee Hooker was, look him up on YouTube. On YouTube? Well, possibly. On Google. That's what Google's for. What Google isn't for, see that link, seamless. I'm quite, cool like that. And what Google isn't for is the moderation of comments and disrupting the flow of communication on it, on its primary platform, because that's what YouTube is. And when you change the comment section in the way that they have done by reducing, in a way they've tried to brand it as, making the comments that you like are going to be higher up your, up the list and more recent and everything, and fair enough. And, ones that have had a bigger impact on the video, then, I can see how an element of that is helpful and is interesting as a concept. But as running a channel, it's really taken some of the privileges away, because in the past, when someone put a comment on one of my videos, I would get a message on YouTube and I would get an email. Whereas now, I don't get that. I get a posting on my Google Plus page, which is fine. But if the person chooses not to post on Google Plus, which they can do, it's just a button click after all, and some people, dislike Google Plus and won't use it. So that means that there will be a percentage of my comments where I get no notification for. Now, that's fine if someone's commenting on my most recent video, because I'm likely to check that out and go in and reply. Although I can't reply, obviously, directly now. So I have to comment and it will go to the top because I run the channel, so it will assume that that's something that everyone needs to read. So rather than, it'll probably look like a host of my comments in response to people and then people's comments, or the other way around, because I frankly don't care which way round it shows it, because either way is intrinsically against the idea of communication, because that is what it's for. Because being able to communicate with others who have similar interests from around the world, because I'm sat here, here specifically, wherever I am. I'm sorry, that sounds like I'm an international man of mystery. It's fairly obvious. I'm from southern England. Hello. But that aside, the fact is, you could be anywhere. You could be watching this, in Timbuktu, Harare, wherever you choose to be, or wherever life has deemed that you've chosen, whatever. I'm not questioning your life choices. But and now you could enjoy this video, or a video, probably not this one, and comment on it. And then I would see that and I would be able to respond and reply and communicate and interact with you. And that's been taken away in a sense, because now I can't directly reply to you. And while I can bucket reply and just blanket reply at the top, I don't know if bucket reply is an evil term, but it is now. So, just look it up on Google. And, now that that's gone, if the service feels a little less because of its passing, because communication is at the core, and I know I've said that, and I just think that taking that away and making it more tricky for people to communicate and to share ideas and pass information about things they like. And sure, you're not always going to have an agreement or an accord, because that's the nature of life, and that's the nature of the internet most savagely, because you might post something, you have a good idea, and you watch a video, you have a good idea, you think it's funny, hilarious, and or intelligent, or thought-provoking, or scary, or spooky, or whatever, and you make that comment, and probably share it to Google Plus, and that comment's there for everyone to see, and people react to that, respond to that in a billion different ways, and with their own upbringing and backgrounds and education and their own experience. And I know that that's kind of taking it in a deeper way than most comments, which are probably, this video cool, and then someone else, no, you're an idiot. I don't know why that's not me saying that. I don't really tend to do that because I don't really have the time. But feel free to comment and tell me I'm an idiot, because I frankly don't care, because I don't really mind. So because if I had worries about my perception of myself, then do you think I'd be posting my face online, especially with my hair like that? Yeah, that's how I like it today. It's good. Anyway, personal illusions aside, where the hell was I? I got just sidetracked. So people will respond to that and interact with that and have an idea, and you get a feeling of community, and that's really what it is, community. Because at the end of the day, this is a worldwide community, and there are very few social platforms which provide that, in its purest sense, because there aren't many. Facebook, sure, you're going to have friends people you've interacted with, people you probably haven't seen in 10 years, and people that you secretly fancy. That's not a hint. If you're on my Facebook friends list, you're not the one. But you're going to have people that are part of your circle, not to use a Google term there, I might get sued. But Google circles, it's sure they want to brand it as having a wider appeal, but the fact is, with it's got a high user rate. Sure, many things have a high user rate, because that's like saying that spam emails have a lot of email addresses to send to, because no one's interacting with it. Because I don't use Google+, and now feel free, if you prefer this new comment system and you enjoy it, and you think I'm an idiot because of my personal views on it, then feel free to say it, because that's essentially what I'm talking about. But I won't be able to respond, obviously. But that doesn't mean that I dislike the content, because frankly that's what this is, a forum for that views. Now I know that larger channels will probably have their own opinions about this, and some will agree, some will disagree, and I just thought that it was it's important to me to say how I feel about it and how I've reacted to it, because when someone posted on one of my videos earlier today, I couldn't reply directly, so I had to reference them, and luckily it was the only comment on the video at the time, so it wasn't too bad. But in a situation where you're a larger channel, then, because it's mainly about larger channels, because small channels like myself, I'm not generating the kind of comment level that's going to force me to take hours out of my day to respond to the comments, because I don't have I'm not at that level, and deservedly. And larger channels, you're not going to see PewDiePie interacting with his audience in the same way, or Total Biscuit, or many of the myriad of other channels who pride themselves on that, and have that sense of community, and have that sense that you're all together. Because not being able to reply and communicate directly is reduction, of its central importance and its central thing, because you're no longer actually communicating with those people, you're communicating at them, and that's a difference. That's not share of information, that's one-sided information, and that frankly doesn't promote users or usership. Was what I was going to say, but or interactivity is probably the better way of saying that. Sorry, I haven't got a script, so ignore my misuse of words. But for example, if you're if you're commenting on a video and you want to say something, I know I've kind of said this before, to be honest, but you're losing something, and I really don't agree with it, and the way it's been done, and the way it's been blanketed, and not an option in, option out, which would have at least given some sort of some sort of decision to people as to whether they wanted that or whether they didn't want that. Because I can understand why Google want this, because Google Plus is their flagship, or YouTube's for their flagship, but they want Google Plus to be the flagship. They want that to be their main revenue stream. They want that to kick Facebook off the planet. They want that to make everyone use it constantly for everything, and they haven't got that yet. They've got people who have accounts. They've got a major account holder. They have so many accounts. I mean, I don't know the figures, I don't have it to hand, but it is billions. Now, most people on there don't use it. I have 2 friends I know who use it, and they enjoy it and interact with it and have their circles and groups and everything, and that's fine. But I don't use that, because no one else I know did or does. And so, sorry, my screen went dark there, which confused my thought pattern. Anyway, so, for me, I dislike it, and funny that, and because this wouldn't be a protest video if I loved it. I'm protesting about change. Anyway, Christ, I'm trying not to say again, but anyway, I can't see. I'm praying. Anyway, I can't see the benefits to me, the benefits to the user, other than I can understand as a concept that if you watch channels and you're commenting on it and getting rid of the comments that you don't want to see, that can have benefit, and I can accept that, and I can understand that, and I can see their point of view and your point of view if you subscribe to that belief. But personally, it makes it so much harder for me to interact with people and communicate with other channels. And I know that in the past it's always had a few issues in that, for example, if you comment more than X amount of times, then it gives you a timeout and you're not allowed to comment. Now, when you're having conversations with people, then that's very awkward, especially if you're commenting, replying to comments on one of your videos, and then you're watching a friend's channel's video, and so you're commenting on their videos, and then you hit the limit pretty quickly, and then you can't message for something like 3 hours. And that then makes it look a bit weird, especially if you're having a minute-by-minute conversation, and especially if you're friends on Steam with that person who knows that you're sat there, on Steam, clearly online, and not responding. But that's a minor issue, because you could just message them on Steam, but never mind. But really, communication is at the core of YouTube, because there's so many other social medias coming about, and obviously they want to protect YouTube, and they want to make it big, and they want to protect Google Plus, and they want to make it the biggest. And in order to do that, they have to defend against other various social memes which are coming up. So Twitter, obviously, but Twitter has less of a visual impact. So Instagram, things like that, where people can share and discuss images. And also, more importantly, I would say the growing impact of Vine, and more people using that, and more people subscribing to that and going towards that medium. So they're worried about that, and they want to say, no, if you use, you're using Google Plus, you need Google Plus. Google Plus runs your life, and YouTube's an extension of that. So they want you to go through that, use that, because at the moment you just pay lip service to Google Plus by going, yeah, sure, I use Google Plus. Sign into YouTube, brilliant. Fuck you, Google Plus, you suck. Now, I'm not saying that in the future Google Plus couldn't be that medium, but do we want it to be that medium is the important question, because we are the people who use it. I don't want to use Google Plus simply because of this reason, and I haven't used it in the past because I frankly don't see the benefit. And if you're an avid user of Google Plus and you can explain to me the benefits of using it, then sure, I might change my opinion or soften my approach. But frankly, at the moment, it just seems horrific. And I know that I've kind of taken 13 minutes, 25 seconds to kind of get to the point and to reiterate the same point again and again. But really, this needs to change back. Now, I know they won't, because that's not the way that this works, really. This is just change and social progress, and this is what happens, and people's opinions really don't matter, because at the end of the day, in 2 years' time, no one will remember how the comment system was. So they win anyway, by default. So I'm not expecting any sort of change. I'm not expecting any ramifications from this or any sort of growth of this. Although if enough people protest it and enough people register their dislike, then it's got a chance. And that's really what it is, because at the end of the day, if you agree with my opinion, then there are larger channels who probably have similar videos coming your way. And that will have more of an impact, because Google will see that. Whereas Google probably won't see this video. So it's a silent protest, except I'm talking. So, because they're not going to take time on me. I've got, just over 3,000 views. They're not going to care about that. With billions of views and all this, frankly, I'm not even on their radar. And that's no diminishment of myself, but that's more to emphasize the fact that there will be so many other channels in a similar position as myself who have this affecting them and affecting how they communicate and how they interact. And, Google will just run roughshod over them. and that's really what I'm saying. And I think, okay, I guess I'll do like some historical quote to to kind of wrap this up, and just to say bye. But I just want you to think about this one. I say that like I own it, but obviously it's an old quote, so it's not mine. In fact, the credit, it was Goethe, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. In fact, give him his full title. Who said, "No one is more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe themselves to be free." Now I fucked that up. I should have just said, okay, I'm going to give it one more go because I really fucked that up. I said it really, although I think the wording was correct. Yeah, let's give it a go, where I don't just go falsely. Okay, one more time, just me and you. This is just for me, more for me than for you, but I'm sorry. You can, if you don't want to hear the quote again, feel free to stop, because that's all I'm saying. Okay. No one is more hopelessly enslaved than I said that with a smile, than those who falsely believe themselves to be free. Now, the poignancy, I'm not going to discuss that because that's for other people more learned than myself. But anyway, I think that kind of sums it up. Anyway, if you like what Google Plus has done, let me know that I'm wrong, preferably politely, but feel free to drop a few cuss words in there. But if you have the same opinion as me, and if you think that this is intrinsically wrong, and I guess that it'll be interesting to see whether other channels take the similar approach and dislike it in the same kind of way, or whether I'm, frankly, an ill-informed idiot who's just rambled for 16 minutes. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Like if you like, subscribe if you want more. Don't, just do whatever you want. Freedom. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, the score. It's a YouTube video, so feel free to comment below, although I won't obviously be able to directly respond to you, so just it makes me look like some sort of emperor when I get to, comment on, yes, I agree with you, and then say name of whoever said that original comment that you're agreeing with, and it's like, see ya. So anyway, you have your own opinions on this, please share them with me and let me know what you think about it, whether you agree, disagree, whatever. Anyway, I'm just repeating myself. So, right, thanks very much for watching. You know the score. See you later. Bye.